Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, you know that song, you know that sound, that means it's the weekend, and as always, it's time for the James Freel Show. I am your host, James Freel, and you may notice from the beginning, as the only platform that I release this thing on is on YouTube, that I have a new icon, and I cannot thank the individual who made it enough. Really, I had sort of just offhandedly mentioned that I was looking for a new one. This person does, drawing, graphic design, and they were kind enough with me not expecting anything, and really, again, I can't thank them enough. I think it really makes my, it's so funny because it's exactly what I would have wanted, and I didn't even know it. Yeah, the old icon that I had used, I don't think I actually own. I mean, I definitely don't own. I just ripped it off the internet, so to have something that I actually do really, it did, I think it kind of brings it to the next level without me having to actually do anything, because I think we all know that the show wasn't getting any better based on my end of the bargain. So, do with that information what you will. But lastly, I know I've already said it, but I can't say it enough. Thank you so much to the individual. I can't say names because, I don't use my real name on this platform, and I don't want to do anything that would say who I am or anything. So, alright, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to news for the uninformed. Our top story kind of moves over into pop culture. Singer-songwriter R. Kelly has found himself in quite a bit of controversy after he agreed to an interview with CBS this week. R. Kelly lost his temper quite a few times, and his publicist had to intervene during the interview. R. Kelly is facing legal charges after resurfaced accusations of certain negative things have come, and he's found himself back in court. I saw that interview. I saw people talking about it. And I had to go look it up, and one person I heard say it quite well. That voice, the man standing up, that's not the voice of someone who's been falsely accused. That is the sound of a man who knows the law is closing in on him. So, he had a lot of different songs. I remember our senior song in high school was like the I Am a Hero, or I'm the World's Greatest. That's what it was. I didn't really care for the song. I loved Weird Al's parody of Trapped in the Closet, Trapped in the Drive-Thru was a pretty good parody. One of my more favorites. That was sort of Weird Al's thing. It was just a part of his thing was to always have one longer song. But I digress. In sports, I'm going to be a little selfish with sports this week. Because for one thing, LA Lakers have officially been eliminated from the playoffs. So LeBron James really didn't go into playoff mode. I'm trying to see who... Sunday, September. Wow, their season is long. That's cool though. I'm cool with that. I thought they played last night. Did FC Cincinnati win? MLS 2019. New club FC Cincinnati conquered box office. Now wants to win at highest level. Yeah, it's Oh, here. Why don't you go to the official site, James? This is really going off the rails. I'm not talking much. MLS home opener schedule. Alright. They should have it here. All months 2019. Alright, that was all preseason. Alright, MLS. Alright, they lost. Oh, that's today at 5 p.m. Oh, that's going to be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's on ESPN. Dang. Alright. I should be able to catch that today then. Here I am pretending like I'm really into soccer. I want to be. I try. Their home opener. How much are tickets going for? Because I know that's it being MLS. I'm guessing it probably went up. No, I don't want season tickets. Web portal 16 remaining. Shoot. Alright, enough about that. And in pop culture, Michael Jackson's estate is now suing HBO, I think. Either that or it's just under controversy. I don't want to spread out fake information. Estate suing. Is that true? Yeah, it is. They're suing HBO over new explosive documentary, Leaving Netherland, claims in which two men claim they were sexually abused by the I mean, it's a downer this week. Well, I guess not entirely because FC hasn't played yet. I started that documentary, Finding Neverland, last night, and it's interesting. I really hate to say it because it's like, yeah, it's heartbreaking at the same time, and this in retrospect, I haven't finished it yet, so so maybe I should just reserve judgment until I'm done with it. So, moving on to the rambling section. I know this is my show, and I run the risk of it being boring. I don't want to be the guy who only talks about my work week this week, but at the same time, no one's really listening to this, so it works out all right. I mean, I'm the number one audience here. So, what I wanted to say was I sort of got sent on my first individual assignment this week. And it was a very simple assignment. I just had to go to a nuclear medicine clinic, and there were some error log files that were on a computer, and it was easy enough assignment. I just need you to go and get those files off of a computer. And I'm thinking, all right, easy enough. I should be able to do that. And so I go and I show up, and this computer's running on Windows 98. And I'm like, no big deal. Shouldn't be an issue at all. I've got my external hard drive here, and should be able to just get it off and send it along to the individual who requested it. So I go there, and I show up. I see the computer's on Windows 98. I plug in my external hard drive. That's all I had with me in terms of information, and this thing. Anyway, I'm sorry, I trailed off the rails there. I plug it in, and I see the computer obviously realizes something gets plugged in, because it does the ba-ding, the standard noise that gets made whenever you plug something in. I do that, and hold on, I gotta recrop this new image that I was talking about. Put the thing there. This is the most interesting story I've ever told. Just kidding. Hold on, yeah, I really shouldn't be doing this while I'm doing this. But, like I said, no one's really listening. So, like I said, the computer, it obviously realizes something's plugged in, but it's not, I'm not able to find the device anywhere. And I'm like, alright, just have to do some searching around. No big deal, because these aren't even Microsoft Doc files. They're simply Microsoft Word. I mean, not even, I'm sorry, they're just text files. It's just a log. And so I think, alright, this clearly isn't working. There was a doctor there who, I don't know if he was a doctor, but he was the guy who administers the, whatever. This is not a modality that I work on. But in short, I can't find this device, and I finally just say, okay, you know what? The guy said before he would help me if I needed anything, and I just tell him, hey man, I hate to do this, but I can't seem to locate this drive to get these files off. Is there any way you can... Do you know this computer better than I do? You obviously use it a lot. And long story short, it's a good thing he had these CDs, because I was able to burn it to a CD, which is something I have not done really ever before. And I don't know, it was kind of embarrassing, and I was kind of having a freak out. Not really a freak out, but I was nervous because this was like the first assignment I ever got sent on. And I really, really, really didn't want to be on my first solo assignment and have someone and be like, wow, this guy can't even get files off of a computer. How incompetent is this guy? How much did we mess up? And I know at the same time, when you're new and things do go wrong, and there's the whole, oh, when it rains it pours thing. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. I think I should try a new font if I'm going to be putting on this new logo. And again, like I said, I can't thank this person enough. Just got to throw that out there again. And again, I recognize that I'm super late with this. This is the second week in a row it's gone out on a Sunday and not on a typically I always do it on Friday. A few times it got pushed away to a Saturday, and then this is the second week in a row it's gotten to a Sunday. I think next Friday I shouldn't really have an issue with getting it back on to a Sunday. So, you know, do with that information what you will. All the tons of disappointed fans that are out there that I hadn't placed it out here. Oh geez, I've only killed 11 minutes. All right, so yes, I have all of my groomsmen together now. I've officially asked all of them. The lineup is set. Originally we were only going to go with 4, then moved to 5, back to 4, back to 5. It's a very difficult decision. Especially, it wasn't as hard picking out the 5 people, although that was hard, as it was deciding who was going to be your best man. Because I was in a situation where there's someone in my wedding party who got married about coming up on 3 years ago, and I was his best man, but he's not mine. It came down to him and another guy, and it really did tear me up inside. I can say that all I want. At the same time, I still did wind up going with the other person. You know, it was a tough decision. You know, you can't win them all. So, that said, I guess I really have spent like a madman these past few. I've probably spent more this past week than I had the past 2-3 months. Because apparently you're supposed to... Oh, excuse me. You're supposed to ask groomsmen... Well, I know women like to ask their bridesmaids in very special ways to be a part of their wedding party. And... The only thing I could think to do is take them to a restaurant. So I took one dude to this place called the Rusty Bucket. That was nice. I took the other dude, I think I mentioned it last week. We went to breakfast yeah, I think I talked about this. Last week's show was good. This one is not. Can't win them all, though. And then Rusty Bucket was good. The guy before, we did breakfast together at a Cracker Barrel, which I really... It's something about corporations that kind of make you cringe a little bit when you mention them. But, hey, what can I say? And so that went well. And then last night I took a friend out to BW3's. That's like sort of our place to go. And I feel like that establishment has had to cut corners the past few years because the demand for it is not as big. It was Saturday night last night, and I'm seeing like it's only about 60% full. I guess it was only like 7, but still, you'd think an establishment like that would be a little more crowded. I'm gonna go a little bit more on a rant about my new photo, just because I think it's absolutely terrific. It's as if this person, I've only met this individual once, and I guess, yeah, I had a few drinks when I met them, so they say that's the real you, which I hope that's not true, because I think I'm kind of a scumbag when I drink. But they got my glasses right, and here I am giving away my even the shirt, like that's my standard. That's how I dress in person. It's just great. I'm gonna have to say goodbye to the icon that I stole from before, but yeah. It's also got that what was the guy who made those book series? Hold on. Author Dave Pilkey. Yeah, he just sort of has that I don't know, he's just got that early 2000s look to it. I loved his books growing up. Those were terrific. That movie came out where Weird Al did the music, and I I personally did not care for I mean, I didn't see it, so what can I really say? Sorry, I'm still. Wow, he really took a lot of breaks in between. I remember it always felt like whenever I would be doing them or reading them, it always felt like it would take forever for the next one to come out. But I digress. Those were books I actually read because they had pictures, and they sort of tricked my teachers because how do I put, they looked like chapter books, but there were photos on every page. So it was really more like a comic book that I would read, because I could read one in one night, and that's not something that someone like me could do. I remember I once went to a book fair and I was able to buy the complete series of them. Alright, let's see. I'm sorry, like this one's really rough. But this, I guess, is what happens when I wait till Sunday and do it last minute. This is already my third try at starting this. So that is what it is. So Lent started, and so this is my first of, I believe, 6 weekends. And I've talked about how I enjoy drinking on here. It's always good to give my liver a bit of a break, because yeah, it's just there's a controversy I see. Some people say Lent doesn't end until Easter. I say it ends on the 18th on Good Friday. I don't know if that's true or not, but so I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I got 5 more, which should not be an issue, and it's good to give my like I said, give my body a vacation. I always let them. It's always out there fighting the good fight. Whenever it's not Lent, this is the 3rd year in a row I've done Lent. That's funny. I started this back in 2017, I believe. And now but I mean, I had those breaks in between when I was really desperate and acted like I had some sort of sponsor, which I might have actually told people in person that I do, which is really embarrassing to think about how desperate I am. I don't feel desperate anymore because I recognize this thing for what it is, and it's still been going every week. It's been, I mean, I wouldn't say it's going strong, but it's going. It's just a good way to collect my thoughts, and like I said, with this, people are going to get really annoyed with, if this was a show that I had, was able to do with just audio, which is something I'm looking for. Now that I have this photo, I can change up. I feel more comfortable putting a show like this on Apple iTunes, which I know it's not going to get any listens on there. At the same time, so I've got a photo that isn't owned by anyone, so that won't be tracked for copyright. The only thing now is the song that I used, and I mentioned this when I had David Campbell on, that I do not own that song in the slightest. The thing is, I threw it into Audacity like a real engineer and just dropped it down like 18 steps. And so if you take it and like raise it, you'll hear what it's originally supposed to sound like, and I don't own that song. And I don't know if what I do, I don't know if I could defend it as in like a parody defense, but me saying that on here is really giving up any chance I have of that. So I don't think that's going to work out too well. But I think, I mean, I mentioned it was probably, it's March already, so about 2 months ago I did that blues tune for someone. I just need to come up with some silly little jingle to play, but I really like what I have now. That song, it's just the only thing I could really record. Like when that guy asked for a blues, I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because that's probably about all I could do for you realistically. I wonder if that project is coming out anytime soon, because I'd really like to see it. I'm sure he would post it all over. And he's tagged me in all of it before whenever something's come out, so we will see. We will see. Since I guess technically I do own that thing, I'm going to, when it does eventually come out, I'm probably going to play a little sample of it on here. It really is. I think I might have to hit the pause button and finish this later. Someone might be home. That lady might be home. What else is going on whenever I don't have anything else to talk about? Well, I kind of took away any opportunity I had of going to what's topical right now, because let's be honest, whatever it is that I'm always talking about topic-wise is always covered in news for the uninformed. That's kind of the point of that segment, was to prevent me from just always going onto the internet and stealing whatever's on there. Yesterday, my lady and I, we went to a bakery to pick out a wedding cake. And this place is sort of like a hipster. It's more for like posh elderly individuals. And I go in there and I'm just like, geez, you can go here and try all these different pastries, but we were just there for cake tasting. And because it was it has such a hipster, posh vibe to it, I was really nervous about prices. I mean, I thought these were going to break 4 figures, and we got to try each of the different types of cake, and they were all amazing. They were all very good. I'm not a cake connoisseur, but what I learned about myself was that I am extremely picky when it comes to wedding cake. Not taste-wise, look-wise. This is something I never knew about myself. We had this stack of maybe, I don't know, 80, 90, 100 different laminated photos of different cake designs that they had, and we were easily just going through it like, no. Got it down to about 8. We were able to knock away the ones like, no, this one doesn't make it, that one doesn't make it. I got it down to the final 2, and I told my better half, you just pick them, because at this point I'm satisfied with either one, and the longer I stare at these, the more I go back and forth. So you just pick it out, because out of the 2 of these, I'll be happy with either one. So that made it a little bit easier. Haven't had to hit the pause button yet, which is good. I haven't felt very sick. So one thing about it being Lent and not consuming any alcohol is I'm really sort of defeating the purpose of Lent. And by the way, I'm not even Catholic. I use it as an excuse to give my liver a break. But oftentimes I'll just like sort of replace it with coffee. Although I don't drink coffee every day, I can only drink it on weekends, because if I drink it after maybe 2, and even after noon, I'm really I'm really messing with my ability to sleep that night, and so I don't know what my deal is with any of this stuff. But am I really sacrificing anything in the tradition that it's supposed to be if I'm just going to sort of replace it with coffee? Because this is my thing. I've got people I know who don't drink, but they drink coffee like a madman. And when I drink coffee, I get a buzz just as intense as I do when I consume alcohol. And I know everyone reacts to things differently, but I'll drink it and I'll just be like, whoa, I feel on top of the world right now. And I just don't see where people get off judging me for using alcohol like that when coffee, I mean, it may not be as harmful to your health, but it still gives you quite a bit of a mind-altering state. That's all I'm going to say about that. Had that and a Red Bull yesterday, and my body is just, whew. And like I said, is it really, I guess, I don't know, does caffeine affect the liver? I don't know. I just sit here and record my ignorant thoughts and put them on the internet for some reason. Which maybe someday I'll still regret. Who knows, who knows, who knows. Alright, got about 4 minutes left before I have to wrap this thing up. Played Red Dead. I saw quite a few friends this weekend. I saw my best man. I saw him Friday night. He's got 2 kids. I met the guy who I was almost made it as my best man. I saw his 2 kids the other night. That tells me I haven't seen him in 5 months because his kid is 5 months old. And I had not seen it yet. Last night was the first time. I'm pretty sure that was the first time I saw them. And just, whew, man. It makes you realize how fast time goes. So. It's interesting. I'm glad I got to see him because he's working a lot. He's got 2 kids. And, I think he's totally right when he tells me if I want to have kids, I want to have them sooner. Because the longer you wait, the harder it's going to get. But I don't know, man. Me having kids, I mean, the idea of taking care of a dog is shocking to me. And I absolutely believe them when they say you don't realize how much time you have until you have kids. I don't realize how much time I have, but I'm guessing since that's the case, I probably have a lot of time. And I like not knowing how much time I have. Okay. And plus, I've mentioned it before, I got student loan debt to take care of first. And it's cool. I'm seeing that number. It's going in the right direction. This new job, I'm incredibly fortunate to just be taking it to. It's like that scene in. Right now, I'm still in the Dark Knight Rises where Batman's fighting Bane in the sewer and there's no music. Oh man, am I really about to use a superhero analogy to play this out? You know what? I think I am. No, that's how I sort of feel because Bane's my student loan. This is such a cringy analogy, but that's a good. I think I already heard once that Bane. It's like the bane of my existence, which that's a funny way of putting it. I think cosplay is kind of stupid. I make myself cringe enough by talking about that. But what do I have to complain when I'm sitting here doing another cringy hobby? I think I mentioned I saw that tweet where it's like questions you should always ask your man. And one guy replied, another one you should always ask, have you ever tried to start a podcast? And I was like, ooh, that one hurt. Yeah. All right. I think we only got about 40 seconds left. I'm going to finish up that documentary, Finding Neverland, and I'll give my 2 cents because I know there's so many of you out there who are dying to know. But, work, it had me sort of thinking that... Yeah, that guy really does seem like he was a monster, based on it. The testimony, not the testimony, but the people talking about it, I have no reason to doubt their credibility. I don't know. Alright, enough of that. Alright, I will see you all next week. Bye.